Hello Internet, Dan here from DansTube.TV, and today I've got a review and a comparison between the DJI Spark and the DJI Mavic Pro. Now I've used both of these drones extensively, so I decided to give you guys a little bit of a rundown. I believe that both of these drones have their market appeal, and I believe that for the consumer, you potentially would lean towards one or the other depending on your price point or what you actually want to use your drone for. Now if you're looking for the Mavic Pro with the Fly More bundle, then definitely check out Amazon. I will have a link in the description below. You can pick it up for $1,195. Now if you want the Fly More combo for the Spark, then it's $684. Now with the Spark you actually have a few different colors as well. You have white, red, green, blue, and yellow, and they all look extremely vibrant and well produced. In terms of price, the Mavic Pro is basically double the price of the Spark. Now with the Spark, you are getting a more compact drone, but with the Mavic you have the usability, you have the functionality, and you have a lot more freedom to do whatever you want with it. The Spark does have fixed arms, but the propellers can actually fold in half, so that is quite useful for transportation. Now the Mavic, on the other hand, it has folding arms, so you can actually fold it down to a nice compact tiny little rectangle that's probably no bigger than an iPhone 7 Plus in terms of the surface area on top. Now that's tiny, right? And you can make that fit in pretty much any backpack that you want. With the Spark, I'm always concerned that those fixed arms are very plasticky and they may not hold up. But then I could be wrong. It's a well-built drone and it does a fantastic job at being a compact drone. This is the first time I've held the drone, guys. It has such a solid build to it. And from what I've seen in all the videos, everything just slots down like that, and then the ones on the back come up, and you're ready to go. That's the Mavic Pro right there in all its beauty. If we are to compare some specs of the Mavic and the Spark, you'll see that the Mavic actually is significantly more advanced, and that's just something you're getting with the money that you're putting into it. But I believe that there is genuinely a consumer set for both drones. Now, there will be people out there that want to get into the drone market. They may be a bit hesitant about flying long distances or flying over water or over people. Now, the Spark is a great starting point. It's very easy to set up with the gesture controls. You can also fly in the house quite comfortably or in small areas. When you go outside it does quite well, but because it's so small you do get a lot of birds actually trying to attack it, and they're not too concerned by its presence in the air. Now the Mavic Pro is a lot larger than the Spark, it has a better presence in the air, and you can fly a lot further. So with the Spark, for example, you get 16 minutes of flight time per battery. The Mavic, on the other hand, you get 27 minutes. And with the Mavic Pro, I think that this is a perfect starting drone as well, but because of its price point and because it is a little bit more advanced, I feel like this is maybe something for a seasoned professional or someone that is extremely interested in drones and probably has the money to invest. They're both extremely stable in the air and responsive to the user's input, but the Mavic Pro, like I mentioned, does have a little bit more to it. So on the Mavic you get a control range of 7 kilometers, which is amazing. That's something that you will probably never even use. It's probably not even legal in your country to fly that far. You have to stay within line of sight normally. Now the Spark, on the other hand, it has a transmission distance of 1.2 miles. Or 2 kilometers. So that's with the controller. With the actual iPhone itself, you only probably get like 100 meters or so, so you probably will want the controller if you want to actually fly this for a long distance. When it comes to top speed as well, the Spark can only get up to 50 kilometers an hour, which is still quite impressive, where the Mavic can get up to 65 kilometers an hour in its sports mode. When it comes to the gimbal, the Spark only has a 2-axis gimbal, while the Mavic has a 3-axis gimbal, and that additional axis will just ensure that you have smoother footage and it will look a little bit more polished and professional. So that's what I mean by this is more of a prosumer drone. Also, on that note, the Mavic has a 4K camera, so a lot better than the Spark's 1080p. So again, a massive jump from the Spark in terms of video quality. Now, it says effective pixels 12 megapixels for the Spark, and camera resolution 12 megapixels for the Mavic Pro. Now, when they say effective pixels, I feel like maybe they're upscaling to make it 12 megapixels. I have no idea what's going on there, but I can vouch for the Mavic Pro. It has a nicer image on it. It definitely looks a lot nicer than the Spark, but that doesn't take anything away from the Spark. The Spark is still a fantastic drone with an amazing camera on it. Now, one thing that the Spark has that the Mavic really doesn't have just yet is gesture control. The Mavic has basic gesture control for taking a picture, but besides that, you can't do anything else with it. Now, on the Spark, you have advanced gesture control, which means that you can actually launch and land the Spark on your palm. You can control it with your hand, you can take pictures, and I also believe that they've finally released an option to take video as well. So there's a gesture now to take video midair as well, and this is just a simple thing to have if you want to take your Spark out and just go straight away, get that image, get that video, whatever it is that you want, whether it's a time-sensitive picture, for example a sunset, or whether it's something with the family and you don't really want to go through the whole setup and you just kind of want to get a picture of the whole group. Very simple to do, and something that you're going to be shaving those seconds off with the Spark when it comes to the setup process. The Mavic is extremely fast to set up, and you know, it's probably only a few seconds of difference, but I mean, the Mavic would still take a few more seconds to set up than the Spark, so the Spark's really great for that kind of situation where you want to capture something then and there in the moment. Both drones have some amazing intelligent flight options. They also have amazing safety behind them. You have flight autonomy, it actually just hovers in the air and holds its point. You have return to home, flight protection through geotagging, which is actually built into the application, and they both have intelligent batteries. But when it comes to the intelligent flight modes, the Mavic actually has a few more flight modes. Besides that advanced gesture control, the Mavic has everything that the Spark has plus more, so you're getting a lot more in that package. Plus the Mavic, you can actually play around a lot more with the video quality, the photo quality, the white balance, and a lot of other things that I guess the Spark doesn't really have that kind of pro element to it, so it's more so just a point and shoot option. Both the Mavic and the Spark have obstacle avoidance built into them, but the Mavic's version is a little bit more robust. It can recognize obstacles from a further distance. It's also a lot more reliable, and I noticed in all of my tests the Spark was decent, but the Mavic definitely topped it every time that I would do any sort of obstacle avoidance test. Some people actually swear by not using it because you occasionally get interference midair. There may be a bird, or it may just pick up on the sun or something, and it will just start beeping and stop flying, which ruins the entire shot. So some people remove that, but for a first-time flyer, and if this video is designed for someone that's going to, I guess, pick up either a Spark or a Mavic, then it's definitely a necessity to have that when you are an early pilot, I guess, or in your early days of piloting your drone. The Spark struggles when it comes to landing. Now, unless you're landing on your palm, which is definitely a viable alternative, it doesn't actually have much clearance from the camera, so there are times that I've actually knocked the camera as it's landed. It's been uneven on the floor, for example, if you have rocks or grass, and it just doesn't land right. Now that is really annoying for me. It's got a very weird design on the base. It's just a rectangular spot with a slight raised bit of plastic. Now, it's no defining landing gear or anything that's trying to protect the camera in the slightest, where with the Mavic you have legs. The Mavic isn't that much better. You actually have a very small clearance from the camera to the ground. So with the Mavic, I highly recommend picking up landing gear, which is just extended legs. It gives you that clearance so you don't actually smash your camera into the ground. With the Spark, I'm sure there's an alternative out there, but the best thing for me was to just palm land all of the time, basically. Now, when it comes to recommending a drone to anyone out there that's watching this video, it's a tricky one because it depends on your price point. Now, the Mavic is obviously a lot more expensive, but that's the thing I would always recommend over any other drone I've ever tested. The Mavic Pro is a powerhouse. It's amazing. I love its build quality. I love the folding design to it. I love how portable it is, how light it is, how powerful it is. I love the design of it. It just looks very cool. I love how menacing it can look in the air. The camera on it is fantastic. The freedom for me to play around with the camera settings, to have all of these intelligent flight modes. It has a great flight time on it, really good flight time on it. It's just super reliable. I haven't had any issues with it. Now, the Spark, I had so much fun using it, and again, it's a really great starting drone, but unfortunately, you get a lot of birds actually trying to dart down and hit it, and that's dangerous. That's really concerning for me. I live in an area where you do get quite a lot of birds, especially when the sun's coming down, and they do dart for the Spark, and I believe if they were to hit a Spark, the bird would be hurt, which is really sad. Poor birdie. And also the Spark would probably crumble to the ground, and that's not a good investment. Definitely not. Like, that $600 is gone. You've lost it now, and you've lost a bird as well. So that's not fun. But the Spark is a fantastic drone, and it definitely has its place in the market. I think it's actually a really good starting point, especially if you want to fly inside. Now, the Spark always would beat the Mavic when it comes to flying inside. It's a lot smaller. It still is an extremely advanced drone, so it will handle very well in close confined areas. So the Spark would beat the Mavic in that situation, and I think it's perfect for that situation. But like I mentioned before, the Spark also doesn't have any great clearance when it comes to landing when you're out and about, and it's also very small as well, so it's quite hard to see when you're flying it. And I also did have one issue when I was flying using my phone out and about, and I was away from a lot of different things. I was away from frequencies, people, I was away from any sort of interference, and after about 50 meters, I believe it was, 50, 60 meters, it actually disconnected from the Spark, and they say you can get up to 100 meters, so it's really not reliable in that situation. You'd probably want a remote control if you're actually to fly out and about, but honestly, the Mavic is the way to go if you have the money. And if you don't and you want to still get a drone, the Spark is still going to be amazing. It's still a great piece of technology that will hold you over for many years to come. It's a great little drone that can capture some great footage, perfect for people that enjoy traveling as well. It's very portable and reliable. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you a Mavic or are you a Spark lover? If you're both, then let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have a splendid day and peace out.